Hello, welcome to my channel, House of Leo. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make this scrap buster bauble with the ridged lines. It's really pretty. I absolutely love it, and it goes really well with my other scrap busted ball design, which I shall link below. So today we're making this one. We'll use up some more of our scraps. Let's get going. So for this project I'm using DK yarn and an old bauble. I really don't like this colour of pink, so I'm going to cover it. In my last video I said that this is a 25cm ball because I measured all the way around, and it's 25cm all the way around, but that is not actually how you measure the balls. Thank you to the person who commented and told me this. So the way you measure your balls, according to Google, is between two books, and then you measure the distance. So these are 8cm balls. So this one and my previous design that I will link below is made on an 8cm ball. So to start with, we're going to take our main colour, our first colour, sorry, and make a magic circle. We're going to chain 2. We're going to now treble crochet, UK terms, or double crochet, US terms, into the magic circle or magic ring. And if we count the chain we made as our first stitch, we are going to do 14 stitches total. So it's 3, 4, 5, 6. I'll carry on till I've got 14, and then I'll come back to you if you want to pause it now. So I have 14 stitches on my hook. I'm going to tighten the circle just slightly. We want to leave a gap at the top to be able to put our top of the bauble through. I'm going to now cut and weave in my ends and complete the circle. So I've closed my circle, leaving it with the gap in the middle, and I've left the magic circle end loose so I can pull it tight when we've finished. So we're going to need our next colour. So we're going to pick any spot on the circle, go into the stitch and chain 2. This counts as our first stitch. Now we've got into the top of the stitch. Now we're going to go around it. So this is called a back post. So you go behind the stitch like that and do your treble crochet UK or double crochet US. So it has gone behind that stitch there. I'm going to do our next treble into the top of the next stitch. So these are all quite close together. We're actually doubling our amount of stitches now, so we're doing 28 stitches. So we're going into the top of the next stitch, and then we're going to go behind the post of that stitch, into the top of the next stitch, and behind the post of that same stitch. I hope I'm showing this clearly. Oops, that wasn't right. Going behind there like this. So it starts to give this raised effect. So continue around for all of the stitches into the top of the stitch and then behind the post of the same stitch. I'm going to continue around and come back to you when I made it to the other end. I've cut and weaved in my ends. You now have 28 stitches, 14 of which are back post. So alternate back post. So now we need our next colour. So for this row we're going into the top of the ordinary stitch, not the back post stitch, and we're going to do our UK treble, US double in there. And then the next stitch is a back post. So wherever there is a back post stitch, you always do a back post stitch. And then just into the top of the next stitch, back post stitch. So we're doing 1 stitch per stitch, so that's another round of 28 stitches. Back post, so we're going behind. Through the top of the next stitch, behind, continue around until you've completed all 28 stitches. So I've completed that row of 28. Now we're going to take our next colour, going into the top of one of the ordinary stitches. We shall join, and then we're going to do another treble into that same stitch. The next one is a back post, so we're going to do 1 in there. And in the next stitch, we're working into the top of the stitch, and we're going to put 2 trebles, UK, or 2 doubles, US. Then we've got back stitch. So we are increasing 2 stitches into every other stitch. Every back stitch is 1 stitch, every stitching it into the normal stitch at the top is 2 stitches. 1, 2. Next one's a back post. I'm saying back stitch, I mean back post. You know what I mean. So I'm going to continue around, get back to you once I've woven in my ends. So at the end of this round, that was 42 stitches. Take your next colour, put it into the top of one of the normal stitches. This yarn's a bit splitty, but I've not got much yet left, as you can see, so I just want to use it up. So we're going to do our next treble into the top of the next stitch, and then we have our back post stitch. So we're not increasing any stitches on this row, we're doing the same amount as the last one, but rather than going 2 into 1, we're just going to into 1 into each of those. So 1, 2, and then back post. One, and to the next stitch, 2, and then back post. So that will be another round of 42 stitches. I shall meet you when I've made it to the end. So that's row 5 complete with 42 stitches round. We are now going to do the next 5 rows exactly the same. So it's going to be a back post, 2 stitches, back post, 2 stitches, back post for the next 5 rows. So that would be 10 rows complete. I'll just show you. So we're going into the top, one of the normal stitches, attaching our yarn into the next stitch, and then back post only. One, two, and back post. So we're going to do this for another 5 rows. So I shall get back to you once I have completed those 5 rows and we are on row 10, ready for row 11. So I have made it to row 10. This is how it's looking. Should we try it on for size? There we are. It's fitting nice and snugly. So the next row, take it off again. We are going to decrease by a stitch in between every ridge. So to do that, we're going to put our hook through the front loop only, and then the front loop only of the next stitch along. Make our first stitch as usual, and then for our next stitch, sorry mate, Baubles rolling away. For our next stitch, we're going to do our back post stitch, and then yarn over, go through the front loop only of the first stitch, go through the front loop only of the next stitch, and then complete the stitch as usual. So what you're doing there is creating 1 stitch out of 2. I'll show you again. We'll do our back post stitch, yarn over, front loop only, front loop only, pull through and complete the stitch, and then into post, yarn over, front loop only, front loop only, pull through both, complete the stitch, post. And one more time before I continue round, yarn over, front loop only, front loop only, pull through, complete the stitch. So I'm going to continue round and get back to you for our next row. So I've completed that row. You can see how that has started to pull it in a little. Now we'll take our next colour and go into the top of a normal stitch. Join it on, back stitch, back post, sorry, and then just a treble, and then back post. So we're back to doing alternate. Post. So it's just alternate stitches all the way around. We're going to continue this alternate stitch for this row and the next row. So next 2 rows, if you include this row, is the same as this. So I shall come back to you. We will be on row 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. It'll be row 13. I shall come back to you. So I've made it to the end of row 13. So again, that was just alternate, back post, treble crochet, back post, treble crochet. So now we have reached the stage where it's going to be a tight squeeze to get it on the ball. So we're going to have to crochet with the ball inside. So we get the fun job of trying to squeeze it on. it will pop in there. Oop. And trying to make sure. There we are. That is coming out the top, and you can see we're almost there with covering it. It's looking fab. I love this, I really do. I think it's such a nice project. Okay, so we have 2 more rounds to go. So for this round, just back post only. This is a trust the process sort of situation. 2 more rounds is enough to close it up. I'm already finding it tricky because the ball's inside. This is why I waited till this row to put the ball in, because it does make it a little bit harder. Keep your end out so you can weave it in, and then we're going to just do back post only all the way around. So we're just skipping a stitch, back post only. As you can see, I'm finding this a little bit tricky, so take your time. It'll all be worth it in the end, I promise. I'm going to continue round, and I'll meet you when I get back to the end there. As I was going around on this row, I just wanted to point out I actually pulled it a bit tighter. That's made it a little bit easier, so it's a little tip for you. Just try and make it more fitted over the ball, and then this bit's a bit easier. Okay, so we have 1 last round to go, and I'm going to try and use this very tiny bit I had left. I've been saving it for this last row because I didn't want to play yarn chicken with my other rows, but I really wanted to use this colour. So okay, so for this last row, it's the same as the row before. We're just going to back post only on every stitch around. I do hope there's enough of this yarn left to finish this last row. Right. Okay, let's try that again. I do find it really tricky crocheting over the ball. So if you're finding this hard, that's because it is. But there's only this last row to go, so back post only again all the way around. Yarn over first. Ooh, squeaky yarn, can you hear that? So I'm going to go all the way around, but this time when I cut my end to weave it, I'm going to leave a long end, and I shall show you why when I get round. So when you get round to the end, before you cut your end, I shall show you what to do. So continue round for this last row. I've made it to the end of this round. Now I'm going to cut a long end. That is all I have left of this, so that is now going to become stuffing for another project. I think I did quite well with using that up. Okay, so you pull that through. Pop it on your yarn needle. Just going to weave it through the top of the first stitch there, and then I'm going to go in and out of every stitch around. So you're sort of creating a drawstring effect basically. all the way around the top. Nearly there. Back through that first one, and then you just pull it tight like that. And now you can weave in your ends properly. I like to use a sharper needle to weave in my ends. So you weave those in, making it nice and secure. And you have completed your ball. I'll just finish weaving those in. And don't forget, you also have to weave in your top one. This is where you can pull it nice and tight around the top, which is why we left that end there until the end. Just go around a few times and then go back on itself to make sure it's secure. And your top is nice and tight. Trim that off. And there you have it. Your absolutely gorgeous ridged scrap buster ball. Now with this one I have added a velvet ribbon and a bead, but you can obviously use whatever you want to hang them. You could even attach a bow to the top of them, which would look really nice. I absolutely love them. I think they're brilliant and they go so nicely with, let me just find my other style. They go really well together. It's nice to have a mix match, I think, of all the different scrap busters. Your trees are going to look so pretty. Oh, I love them. I love them. I love them. Please let me know if you enjoyed making this project and what colours you do. Obviously you don't have to do multicoloured rainbow ones. You could do just stripes, alternate stripes, or even a single colour would look really nice in this design. So let me know what you choose to do and if you enjoyed this project. And also I would love to know if you want more scrap busting projects, because I've got lots of ideas. So if you're interested in those, leave me a comment and I shall get designing. Thanks guys, see you again soon. Have a wonderful Christmas.